Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tom here from Electric Games and welcome to a video counting down our top 8 game announcements from last week's Gamescom Xbox livestream. The event we had been waiting for finally came to fruition last week. The Gamescom 2021 Xbox Live night was almost everything we had hoped it to be, with bizarre but fascinating historical depiction of trebuchet weaponry and virtual flights around Cologne. Suffice to say, we had a great time covering the evening's events, but if you couldn't attend, then do not panic, we have you covered. We will kick off this post-show summary by starting with the game we thought had the most talk and stage time last week, Forza Horizon 5, exhibiting some unbelievable majestic environments from the game's Mexico-oriented map. We glided through a myriad of biomes, paradise-filled beaches, historical cities, chasmic canyons, and into sweaty, dense foliage. Forza Horizon 5 is no exception to the varied landscape the series has previously been known for. Waving around the medal for both the highest point and largest map in any Forza game to date, Horizon 5 boasts a series of seasonal weather events, including dynamic dust storms, as well as a fresh collection of daring driving events, this time ostensibly revolving around the driving out of planes, donning the same simply yet masterful interface. The game certainly looks and sounds crisp, especially seeing as Forza Horizon 5 implements both visual and auditory ray tracing features. Stay in gear for November 9th, the day that will leave smoke behind it as Forza Horizon 5 goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. Second in the top 8 list comes Techland's prequel production, that is Dying Light 2 Staying Human. Consisting of over double the parkour moves when compared to the first game, survivors in Dying Light 2 will be able to employ a plentiful 3,000 free-running animations, looking like an apocalyptic hybrid between Far Cry and Fallout. Dying Light 2 is at its core a first-person, open-world survival horror game, but it is also so much more than that. Touted to be a narrative sandbox, Dying Light 2 is not a title that scrimps on any storytelling, the game's choice-driven plotline being one of the developer's primary focuses since the game's announcement at E3 2018. Humans present a greater threat this time around in Dying Light 2, despite the undead developing the tendency to be much more voracious at night. An idea reminiscent of shows like The Walking Dead. To battle and flee, both parties dead or not, users are equipped with an arsenal of weapons, ranging from crossbows to shotguns, as well as a variety of gadgets like a grappling hook, and a paraglider used to scale the series' tallest buildings and float to safety away from the city's savage denizens. It seems that a lot has changed in the 20 years that have passed since the plot of the first Dying Light publication, and we cannot wait for the 7th of December to get our grappling hooks on the game. Point Blank's game's Stray Blade title was an unexpected arrival at Gamescom, showing only footage from the pre-alpha version of the game. Now, I'm prepared to give the benefit of the doubt to incomplete pre-alpha titles that are mostly a year away from release. Yet, I don't think I need to with Stray Blade. The game looks incredible already, a strategic hack and slash combat game. Stray Blade finds itself in the immemorial valley of Acrea, a divided land ravaged by a war that, of course, we are destined to repair, which we do with the help of a sarky little wolf companion named Boji, showcasing some impressively fluid combat mechanics, with a user interface not too dissimilar from The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Stray Blade looks to rise from the shadows and dominate the discussion in 2022. At first, I was undecided on the game's distinctive visual design, but within a few minutes of gameplay footage, I had permanently changed my mind for the better. Keep an eye on Stray Blade, folks, this one is going to be big. In 4th position sits not a game per se, but an expansive DLC package named Homecoming, an add-on to State of Decay 2 to rightfully celebrate achieving a 10 million strong player base. Homecoming is a remastered aftermath of the previous Heartland update, offering 4 new bases among much more within the Trumbull Valley. State of Decay, which came out in the summer of 2018, is another thrilling open world survival horror game, with a vibe comparable with Players Unknown Battleground. only this time the graphics are far superior, and the gameplay is, for the most part, smooth, tactile and satisfying. Fans of the community building survival series may have been expecting some news regarding the third iteration of the series that was announced last year, but instead received the Homecoming DLC, to keep them entertained for the time being. Also, I'd pay attention to the title of Homecoming. It represents the final celebration of sorts. The next announcement regarding State of Decay will likely be a third game, so keep the faith. The Xbox Live night at Gamescom 2021 kicked off with footage of a plane flying around for what looked to be a European city, which I enjoyed watching for a good half an hour. But as I was preparing to host a live stream, I became distracted and perplexed. Was this real aerial footage or was this a flight simulator? I had played several flight simulators before, but I didn't quite remember it looking like this. Well, soon enough I got my answer. It was gameplay footage from the Sick World update of Asobo Studios' Microsoft Flight Simulator, including a lifelike Junkers Ju-52 plane, an accurate topographical representation of the Alps mountain ranges, as well as several new cities in 3D detail, like Basel and Vienna, and 4 new crafted airports like Stuttgart and Lübeck. The World Update 6 contains a lot of new material based on Germany, Austria and Switzerland. If that wasn't enough, the update available from the 7th of September also consists of near 100 new places of interest to admire from the sky, as well as a new volocopter to race around the cities of Europe in. I could not believe how real this gameplay footage looked. The only thing that gave my analytical eye a hint was the lack of complete ray tracing of tall glass buildings. If you fancy a quick aerial sojourn, be sure to download Microsoft Flight Simulator on the 7th of September. About an hour into the conference named David Rogers to inform us all a Wasteland 3 DLC named The Cult of the Holy Detonation. I initially thought David was telling us the name of his heavy metal rock band with the moody title of the package, but it turns out that he was just there to talk about a DLC, transporting us from desolate Colorado to an equally as barren, at least on the outside, Cheyenne Mountain. The Holy Detonation DLC acquaints us with a tribe of unpleasant human beings that have devolved into some sort of hideous, irradiated monstrosities, who idolize a mini son of sorts. As the Children of Atom style group, the Cult of the Holy Detonation are in possession of a harnessed nuclear explosion that is swirling and bustling within the confines of a machine. A cult of monsters is probably not the best demographic to hold a nuclear weapon, so we as the main character are equipped with new armor and weapons to lay siege to the cult comprised of all new enemy types. If you are a fan of Wasteland 3 but are hungry for fresh content, this is the DLC for you. Hold tight for its release on October the 5th. A game I hadn't heard of before was Psychonaut, an admission I feel guilty about after seeing the extent of lore surrounding the game. During the Xbox Live night at Gamescom, Double Fine Productions announced Psychonaut 2, a platform adventure game which came out on August the 25th, which follows as a direct prequel to the first game, released 16 years ago, offering a whole new story revolving around the character of Raz, who has just joined the ranks of the Psychonaut interns. The game makes good use of customizable psychic abilities, named Psy Powers, to provide a thrilling, often comical, and entirely enthralling playstyle. If you are a fan of the Ratchet & Clank style writing with eccentric visuals, Psychonaut 2 would be well worth looking. Put it this way, fans would not idolize the game in the way they do if Psychonaut was an underwhelming play. I mean, a crowdfund that reached almost $3 million is a good reason Psychonaut 2 exists. People adore this game, and it has been immediately extolled by various critic networks. And last but not least on our list of Xbox Live announcements is a roguelike title named Into the Pit, a title that effectively sums up what the game is all about, a descent into hell. Utilising a slew of different magical casts like runes, we are tasked with frenetically banishing the demonic presence from an infested town, all whilst trying to discern what happened to your demon hunter cousin, Lyridia. If Skyrim used illegal substances and developed an obsession with the occult, the result would certainly be Into the Pit. A very neat concept shouldered with an undeniably ebullient and slick visual design. Into the Pit is a game that should not be cast as shadows. If the sound of the game floats your boat, you can find it on Game Pass on the 19th of October. And here we come to the end of our Xbox Live Night summary. 8 fantastic looking games, all except for Strayblade, set to release in the coming weeks. Other announcements made last week concerned the Sea of Thieves Mayhem Pack, a portfolio of indie arcade games that are to be brought to Game Pass soon, as well as Age of Empires 4, which would certainly explain the trebuchet. Thank you all very much for watching this video on our top 8 announcements from the Xbox Live Night. I hope you all enjoyed this video and are looking forward to these new games as we are. If you would like more of what we have to offer, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to keep notified as to when we upload a new video. Also, feel free to like the video and leave a comment with any creative feedback that you may have for us, or what your opinions are on a new announcement. Anyway, that is all for now, so I hope you have a fantastic day, and we will see you all in our next video. Farewell and stay electric.